you seen the Anchormans, right?
Oh, many times.
You want to do this like how now brown cow, how now brown. It's like,
Welcome, everybody. This is the episode 2 of the Mental Greens podcast. And as you can see, I have talked another one of my brothers into joining me for an episode. So would you like to introduce yourself?
yeah, hey, my name's Andre Rose. I'm Ted's sister. 34. That's pretty much it.
Oh shoot, okay, I'm going blurry. You just said I'm Taja's sister.
Oh yeah, Ted's brother.
You can identify as whatever you want, you know?
Oh, don't even start. Nah, don't try me.
Oh
If
man.
that's the case, then I identify as God today. All right.
Mhm. That works. That just makes me like, I'm not really a horse. I'm a broom. Oh man, if anyone listening gets that reference, then you're a silly ass person. With this episode, I mean, if you're watching this one and you watch the first one, as you can tell, I do not stay on topic. So this is gonna be a freestyle episode. Well, I did want to start out with the what I sent you earlier this morning. So the tweet said, "What have you found to be the most difficult since awakening?" And for anyone that might not understand that, I something about people saying woke, like it was years ago when I was like, I wish people would stop saying that shit. Because I was like, everything is woke. Because like, as soon as I became like a trendy word, I was like, all right, well, now I can never say it again. When I first read that, the first thing I was thinking, I was just like, well, the only thing that really like was difficult for me is that when I guess, came to and I started to see the light more, I would say it in that sense. Um, I was in a relationship and I was just like, I don't know, man. The person I was with at the time, and this is all have to do with me. I don't want to put it on the person I was with because they're just living their life. But I was just like, I don't know how to talk to him anymore. You're the person I talk to the most, but I don't know how to talk to you because I feel like you're not gonna understand me. And I'm like, this nigga's gonna think I'm crazy. I think I was like 25. And I remember the day that it happened. It was my 25th birthday. And I was at his house because he was at work and we had plans to like go out and stuff afterwards. But all I remember that day is I was like severely depressed. And it was one of those days I feel like I like hit rock bottom and I just started crying. I was just going through it that day. And of course, like I knew he was about to get back to the house, so I was just like, God, I have to act like nothing just happened. But I felt like a shift within me. So, I went on with my day and I don't think I ever said anything to him about it because I was just like, I mean, I don't know. I think when I'm in a relationship or when I'm around people, I feel like it would be a burden to be like, I just don't want to worry people. And I feel like everything that I would have said would have worried. I just keep it to myself. And I think really the only person I would talk to about stuff like that is Kip. And I'm pretty sure he was locked up at that time. So in that sense, I did feel like super alone because I was like, I don't have the only person that I can talk to. I really think that like as time went on, like the next relationship I got in, like I was just like, I can't like hold that kind of stuff in. I have to like, but I was like, I'll do it little by little and see how much they can take of, that me now. And it really wasn't until like after I wasn't with that person, but we're still cool. I was kind of letting him like really get to know me and that side of me and like the spiritual side of me. I think in that process, Like a lot of people just naturally dropped off out of my life because that's just what happens. And it seemed like the people that I was attracting kind of understood me a little bit more. And then some people that I was already close with, like my friend that I was talking about, the one that helped me move, like I had known him since I was like 19. So we we had started talking again, and it was just like we were going through a lot of the same things and like spiritually. So I was like, okay, now I have another person I can like connect with. But it just put me off from wanting to like even engage with guys because I was like, these niggas are just gonna think that I'm crazy. So I was like not wanting to talk to people. For me, that was like my biggest thing. How do you feel about that? Like what was the most difficult part like for you?
Well, before I say it, I wanna touch on some things that you just said. Like that is like a hard part because like when you start to change and you know it, like obviously when your vibration change, like the things that the people that you were vibrating with, you're not gonna really vibrate anymore. So you're not really attracting that, and it's like it does suck because like when you start not being able to be not necessarily, I guess, like close, but like you're not able to talk to the people you usually talk to, and things do become different. That is like a shitty ass way to be because like you're really at a drop off point, and until you start attracting in your new vibration, like well at least for me, until I started attracting in my new vibration, like there's a moment where you're like kind of just in your own space to learn yourself. So like I just wanted to say that like I'd be feeling that shit because like I don't know when you're just trying to understand like everything that and you're trying to process the things that you weren't really processing before and you really didn't care, and now you just can't not see it. Who was it? Dick Gregory like he said once you put the universal glasses on, he's like it's a gift and a curse because like you'll be able to see everything, but you'll never be able to take them off once you put them on. And I kind of feel like that because you can act like you don't see it, but you'll still see it. So no matter how you do, if you don't walk in it, then it's kind of like you're you're veering off and you're just kind of being ignorant, but you'll still see. I don't know. So that's why I be thinking like changing your cast of people is important because like for instance like after a while like talking to different people like having different actual relationships, you really just are being you after you've dropped everybody else off and you're meeting new people. They don't even think of you as weird because like that's just who they met you as. So like um but that being said, like, what have I found the most difficult since an awakening or an enlightenment? Or I think like with me it was uh like conquering egoism because like it's not like once you feel awakened like that goes away. Like you always have like pride and stuff. Like it's more about, well in my eyes you always have pride. It's more about like conquering your pride, and I think that's been like the hardest thing because you really like with me I always have to keep my ego in check, and I have to like kind of sort through my feelings and kind of like what is it that is I'm actually feeling, and how can I use this in a better manner without going off the edge, you know. So I think ego and pride with me was like the hardest thing because it's really like an everyday thing and you really have to stay above, otherwise it's easier to get sucked like lower, so like, you know, I think withdrawing from old things was kind of easy, but finding new interests, like as well as like you would as relationships and stuff like that, new interests and things that won't make you feel so complacent. I think that is also like a really hard thing that that I had to deal with because I had no idea what I like to do anymore. Because I start seeing things like, all right, man, that's kind of pointless. Why have I been doing certain things and I want to move different? I, and in order to move different, I have to actually be different, change some of the things you're doing. So finding new things to do. I picked up reading, a lot of reading. I think that was probably the biggest thing for me in order to like to soothe that difficulty in general.
I be feeling like I have a foot in the 3D and a foot in like the spiritual world, and I'm just like you said, like once you put the glasses on, it's just like the veil. Well, I like to say the veil being lifted. I just started seeing things differently that helped me cope better with like stuff that was going on. In that same time, around like the age of 25, that was a crazy year for me, like spiritually, like internally, because that was when I lived in that apartment on the water. I remember you came over and we were like
Yeah.
we talked for like 5 hours straight and stuff. Yeah, that's when I was like really going through it. So you were one of the people that was there while I was just like, what is going on with me? Like I was like, man, am I crazy? Like so. When I was reading a lot of books, like a lot of the stuff I was reading back then, I'm like revisiting now, especially when it comes to like the transfer of energy and transmuting energy. Like, because I was like, man, I'm depressed, but like, really, what does that mean spiritually? So when I started like studying and reading more books and being like, okay, what does all of this physical stuff mean? Because the physical side of things, that's the last thing that manifests. So what was happening to get to this point? That's one of the things that I'm even really still dealing with right now, especially like with like my health stuff, because I feel like before, like I was like, okay, like I just, I'm depressed. I can deal with the mental stuff. Like it's kind of not that it's nothing, because that kind of is what controls everything is your mental. So I'm like, we're taking all mental because that's where things start. Well, I'm still literally in the process of trying to figure out like what my physical pain, like what is that? I know why it happened in this sense, because it was stress. Um, I guess I should probably explain to other people since you already know what's wrong with me. So my immune system was just like not in the best place because I was sick from something else that maybe I'll talk about in like a year or so. But I was super stressed and my body was just going through it. But I was kind of the person that was like, I'm just gonna work through whatever I'm going through. I used to work through like, I work through my depression. I can work through physical pain and sickness because like that's just what I do. Like I don't have a choice to do anything else. Stress can really mess up your body. And I found that out the hard way. And I ended up having a shingles outbreak, like all right here. And so when I went to the doctors, they were just like, okay, well, usually it's like if you have a lower immune system, like HIV or AIDS stuff, like diseases that will lower your immune system, like that's how you can get it, especially if you're younger. But they're like, well, you don't have any of those issues, and the only other way this could have happened is stress. And I was like, that makes sense. Like I'm stressed mentally, emotionally, and physically because I already have other stuff going on. And so I said, okay, I understand in like in a 3D how I broke out and had a shingles outbreak. But I was just like, okay, well, I know it's stress. I know why my life feels so stressful. And I kind of like ignore what's going on with me. And that's been a life lesson, I feel like my whole life. It's just like always putting other people first and stuff. And really literally until about a year ago, I just kept doing. I didn't even tell people that I was moving, so I know people are gonna watch this and be like, "No, you're not in Washington anymore." But like, but I literally like it was. I just up and left, and I don't know, like I've always wanted to leave Washington. I feel like this was like the only thing that was actually gonna help me is to remove myself out of the environment that I was in. Because if I stay there, I'm gonna keep not putting myself first because there's people that I know that I care for and people calling on me all the time. So I'm just like, man, how am I gonna like leave this? Like literally when I stepped off the plane, it felt like I had a weight lifted off of me. Like I physically felt lighter. And even though I was just like, I can't believe I'm doing this, immediately felt better. I really feel like removing myself from that situation like was very helpful. But as you know, I've been in debilitating pain for like 3 years straight, like wearing clothes hurt, moving hurt, laying down hurt, showering hurt. And I was just like, how did my life get like this? Like I was just super active and all over the place. And now I'm just over here like trying to get up like this all the time. Me finally finding a doctor, and as much as I was like, I don't want to take medication every day. I want to find out how to like reverse my nerve damage, and so I can be like a normal person again. I settled on the fact that I was like, if I can find a medication that worked for me so I can like move and work and be a normal person again, I was like, I guess that's just what I'm gonna have to do. I don't know. I'm just like, this is crazy because I really thought like the rest of my life I was just about to be fucked up. But then I had like that little thing of hope. It's like, man, you've worked through so much other stuff in your life. So I was like, there has to be a way for you to figure this out. It's an internal thing, and like the way that I'm thinking and the way that I'm approaching it, really up until I hit 30, because I think, yeah, I had had surgery for a whole nother situation, which one of my biggest fears in life was having surgery. After I healed up from it, I don't know exactly what was going on at the time. Maybe I do care about being alive. I was trying to, like you said, trying to find things that you like to do now. That's how like I started my business and making the body scrubs, because I was just stuck in my house, not being able to really do anything. I need to get into self-care internally and externally, and that's how I started doing everything and started my business, and that's what it was born from. I kept seeing my sister's birthday, 313. Okay, I'm gonna name the business after her because I feel like she's with me. I'm like, what were we talking about? How did they get here? I was like, what?
Hey, you said freestyle, right? Yeah.
Yeah, that's the second thing I wrote down was taking your own advice. And I had to really sit with myself and be like, how am I, people come to me whether they have a question or they need someone to physically be there for me. I'm like, I feel like I'm literally helping everybody else but myself. So I'm sat back and I'm like, how do I be helping other people? And like, what do I be saying to them? Like, can I say it to myself, or any of my words gonna be able to help me as well? I really sat down and had to start taking my own advice, and that's really what helped me. I will say I can relate to you now, though. I'm about to say that it's the whole pride thing and not wanting to ask for help. I still deal with that to this day. Like, it's just like, man, whenever I need help with something, I will sit and I'll be waiting to the last minute to ask, because I'm like, I can figure this shit out myself. I'm not asking nobody for help. Like, I'd rather struggle and do all that shit. And then I'm just like, well, Taylor, all that's doing is stressing you out. And what did stress do to you last time? And so I'm just like, so. And thankfully, I have people like you and Eggs, and like, well, I have my brothers and I have my mom and, my spiritual father and your mom. She's been very helpful to my life. Like, she's just been a light in my life. And I'm just like, oh, I'm glad that she's close. You also helped me too, though, because even in our conversations, we just be talking and you'll say something and I'm like, oh, I really needed to hear that because I was struggling with that, but I wasn't telling nobody. So,
Hey, yeah.
my health situation, not the nerve pain, but the other thing. I was always like so emotional about it. And every time I talked to somebody about it that I felt like I was comfortable talking, like I would break down crying and stuff. You need to be able to get over this. And when I was trying to look for like different methods to help heal myself, I would start feeling sick to my stomach, and I was like, I just can't even do this. Like, I'd be by myself just trying to Google stuff, and I would tear up and all that, and I'm just like, man, I hate that I do that because I can't focus and get far enough to like even read about my condition. The day that I told that person about my situation, like I didn't cry, I didn't get emotional or nothing, and I'm like, oh, this is weird. Like I was like, ooh, growth, but. And then even after that, like I was like, you know what, maybe I'm gonna look this stuff up again and see how far I can get before I feel nauseous and had to put my phone down. but that never happened. And even like to this day, like every day I'm like reading stuff and like reading other people's stories that have like the same condition as me. And I didn't feel sick. I don't be crying and stuff. And I'm just like, I said, oh, okay. So that's another reason why I aligned with this person, because I feel like if I wouldn't have met them, I wouldn't have made the progress that I've made, even just within the last couple months. It for me, it happened. It seemed random, but nothing in life is random. I've learned that. Brief intermission. I had to get water because I was running my mouth. But anyway, that's all I'll say on that situation. You know, it's getting a little too personal. Hey, you know, that's actually a good look for you. Not because your face is covered, but you know.
Yeah, yeah, loud and clear.
Oh man, now I want to listen to you 40 because all I hear is that's a good look for you started playing in my head.
You say you're dramatic and all that stuff, but like I think like when you don't understand something, and you don't understand what you're like when you're going through whatever you're going through, and you make it through that. I don't necessarily think that's being dramatic. I think that's more of a sign of intelligence, uh, and perseverance. Um, because like when you don't know something, you keep doing it anyway. That shit is kind of scary, regardless if you admit it or not. It's something new, and it's like when you do something new or awaken or however you. Or I've seen something yesterday. It was yesterday. It said about being it's reborn, and this okay. So it's about being reborn. So just like when you talk about uh, like a I want to say like was it Sumerian tablets? They say that just like when you're being baptized, like it doesn't. That's not what they were trying to get out of it. That's not. It wasn't about putting babies in water or saying your sins are washed away. It was more about your consciousness being reborn or you being awakened and your youth. So if you and me are talking about some things that are going on and we're reflecting on each on stuff and then like we always do we might not talk for 2 3 weeks maybe I'm and then maybe during that time I'm processing some things and maybe I'm making some new additions or some subtractions or just changing myself in general to become whatever we was talking about and now striving to do that to make my my mental my spiritual uh better, and that's what he was saying. That's what I was hearing from what I was watching about being reborn. So it's not necessarily about being baptized because water doesn't do anything. I jump in the water every day, um, but it's more about being reborn and to do the things. So that being said, uh, no, like yeah. So when you're going through things you don't understand, and I think that's more of a sign of strength, not just being dramatic. I understand kind of what you mean because like I don't know when you look back at things when you're younger and shit, and you just realize a lot of shit didn't really matter or at least me, I'd be like, man, why was I taking shit so fucking seriously? You know what I mean? Like it really wasn't even that serious, like, and I don't wish I could go back because that's obviously how you learn. But um, I thought that was worth saying to you because I don't think yeah you're dramatic. We're all dramatic, but but another thing that is I know we're kind of away from this, but finding hard for like when you're awakening is more like well maybe like it was more freeing, but like accountability on self, you know. It's like when I tend to like make I don't want to say excuses, but like exceptions. That's what I should say. Like I used to do that a lot. Like I know some I like, man, I shouldn't be doing. I'm like, no, I'm just gonna make exceptions. I feel like it was really just lying to myself. And I feel like when I think we was talking about, when you put on your universe, you said veil, but your universal glasses and it's being like more ignorant to the fact of things. So I think like that's been like more of a freeing thing. It's been difficult, but it's been like hella freeing to be able to to check myself, you know what I mean, and stay upon myself. I think that's like a battle with higher and lower self. Like you want to live in you want to live in I want to live in a lot of my emotions and the outwardness, but not really realizing that like we're really here just for the experience, you know, and to feel things because this word I think I it's like we're in time and space, you know, in the third dimension. So like we're in time and space, so we feel things so slow because like you know, a million years in the face of the universe really isn't a lot, but we only live for what, if we're lucky, 70 years sometimes, you know what I mean? Sometimes niggas be dying at 40. So it's like, you know, like it just happens so fast. So I realizing like about your human experience more about anything, uh, I think it goes back into what I was saying about when you look back into your to your younger days. And I guess when you're old, when you grow spiritually too as well in age, you start to realize like we're just really here going through the motions, and that's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah. There's I don't know if I ever talked to you about this, but I used to watch this guy's videos, Hans Wilhelm. I think that's how you say his name. But he makes videos on YouTube and he's literally like explaining like spiritual stuff, but he's like drawing stick figures and he breaks it down like super easy. And one of his videos about like Earth School, and it's pretty much like, everybody, it's we're just spirits, but we're just in this physical world in our physical bodies and stuff, and we're literally here, like you said, to learn lessons. And like the I was thinking about that not too long ago because like whenever I feel like I am like being like super emotional or I'm like tripping over something or being dramatic, as I say, is it like I'm supposed to be here to experience, human emotion. So like we really, I feel like it's helped me in a sense to be like, whether I'm feeling anger or sadness, I'm just like, okay, well, where is this coming from? I'm not upset with myself for getting mad about something or being sad over something because we're really here and we have these human emotions because we're supposed to be experiencing them. And like, but that also reminded me of like being like super depressed and feeling numb. And so sometimes when back in those days where I just felt nothing, no emotion, well, I would feel irritation and anger. And that's pretty much all I felt, or I was just numb. And like that's when I was just like, okay, well what do these emotions like really mean and why am I experiencing them and like trying to like come out of like that numbness because it, I don't know. I was at the point where I was like, I would see other people like smiling and happy, and I'm just like, just what should I be smiling about? Like I was like in a very just different space. And like I can look back on that and laugh now, but I wonder how different my life would have been if like I just allowed myself to experience emotions and like learn from it and just like be. And it just made me be like very grateful to be in the state of mind that I am now. I wouldn't change nothing. I don't wish that I just was never depressed because I feel like that was even helpful to my life then because not that I'm glad other people were, but a lot of my friends, we would be sitting down and talking. I'll say KP. One of our friends, KP, we used to always go out drinking with our friends and stuff, all the people we worked with, but we always found ourselves like at some point sitting there just by ourselves and just talking about like our experiences and how we're feeling or how we're not feeling anything. Like there'd be crazy. We'd be in a loud ass bar and stuff. People just being crazy and junk around us. Someone just like, yeah, I barely got out of bed today. It was crazy. And like we would just be in our own little world talking. So in a sense, I'm glad that like I went through that because I was able to connect with people that I probably would have never been able to talk to other people at that point. So I'm glad that like I aligned with people that like I could relate to it and we were able to like help each other and be like, okay, like we're not alone in this. Like we can we can function because it's easier to have someone that can relate to you. I be looking back sometimes, I'm like, you know what, there's really nothing about my life I would have changed or done differently because I wouldn't be like where I'm in now and the state of mind I'm in now. All of those things kind of led up to, I feel like the veil got ripped off. It wasn't like a slow, like, oh yeah, this is slowly revealed, like this, seeing stuff like, oh, if I could go back and do things with the mind that I have now, and I'm like, nah, because I wouldn't have put up with no shit if I had like the mind that I knew now, because I would have caused chaos. Oh, sorry, my phone is. Hey, I should have went on do not disturb, but yeah, now my this is gone. I'm push my phone on the ground. I don't need to get distracted. It was something about you just being more concerned about how your life feels to you rather than how it looks to other people. And I just remember I was around like 8, and I don't know why. I don't even know why I was having this conversation with grandmother, but I was asking like, why is it bad to live with somebody if you're not married? And I remember her saying, because it looks bad to other people. And like in my mind, even as a kid, I was like, so like, but I was just like, I mean, my grandmother, that's what she said, so that's just the reason I'm gonna go with. And then I got older, I asked the same question again, and she gave me the same answer, and I was like, yes, that is still not sitting right because I don't. I don't give a fuck what other people think of what it looks like. Like, nigga, you're not in the house with me. Like, how do you know that like I'm not living with a nigga and we're sleeping in separate beds and stuff? Like you can still uphold what you believe in and move how you want to move. Like, why does it matter what it looks like to other people? I feel like as a kid, I'm not surprised with the questions I ask with the kind of adult that I've turned out to be because you can't listen to everybody. Like you can ask questions to get people's perspective, but I have to let spirit lead me. And like it's like if something feels right, like I follow my intuition. If something feels wrong, I need to remove myself from situations. Sometimes it happens automatic. I'm just going off how I feel instead of, what people think I should be doing, like getting married and having children and all that. I'm just like, I don't think that I'm supposed to do that.
You know, when I remember the last holiday that I celebrated it, for Thanksgiving. I'll get to the point later, but so I went to my homie Cervantes' house and we go chill. We deep fried turkey, and I'd already had stopped celebrating, like because I had started coming to grips, like all right, I understand what the premises are, and honestly, like no matter if you care or not, it's just like why am I even participating when I know something is dumb? Like why? Because that attachment. And somebody's always inviting me, and I always like nah. And well, this is the last year I did it, and and that turkey was delicious. By the way, deep fried it.
I never had fried turkey before. I'm kind of hating on the low.
Oh my god! Oh my god! You know what I mean? And I got asked by one of my homegirls. Got invited to their family's house to uh to go celebrate Thanksgiving. And I was like, nah. And then it's like, oh look, I know you don't celebrate it, but we're not really celebrating Thanksgiving. We're just getting together. And I'm like, all right, I was like, so you're doing it on Thanksgiving though? She's like, yeah. I was like, so you are celebrating Thanksgiving? No, I don't care about that. Then why are you doing it on this day? Like for real, like you can do this any day. You can just go eat with people, invite niggas over on any day of the year. But this is so you're still holding that attachment. So after that year, I had stopped. Well, I already didn't celebrate really Easter and shit like that. Mother's Day, obviously, I don't. Mother's Day, it's kind of like that attachment, right? If I don't get my mom something, I know she's about to be tripping. So I'll do something, you know what I mean? So I'll do something because it matters to her. It's like if I didn't get anything for Father's Day, I wouldn't care. I'm a dad every day. It's kind of like you were saying, like, you think about your mom being dead. I'm not trying to be super insensitive, but like some of y'all's moms is dead every day. So to be triggered by that on one day is crazy because you should be, I don't know, in my eyes, like holding that every day. You know what I mean? It's just something that is a part of you. Um, Black History Month, ridiculous. Uh, so I just look at all this stuff in the holidays, and I see it more as like ploys because it's like that's your economic seasons. You're always bringing in more money. And I think that's more so what it's tailored for. You got Thanksgiving, Christmas. What the fuck is in January? I don't. And Valentine's Day, Halloween, all that shit. So I think more so it's not really for like for like an understanding. It's really just for economic reasons. Because if you celebrate things and you don't understand it, then like you're really still being ignorant. Like when you just do stuff just because you're doing it, you're not really questioning it. So I think like that's also a part about just being conscious. Like when you understand something, you can't just keep saying like nah, fuck it, because like I said earlier, you're making that excuse like, hey, I know, but hey, like I guess I'll just die a little bit earlier. You know what I mean? Because I'm
Mhm.
not changing my diet. You can like stuff like that. So I think like uh the smartest thing you can do is when it's I mean, and those that's a pretty small thing to not celebrate Thanksgiving, and not celebrate it, that's not even it's not even really the point. Is to understand like why you don't do shit that isn't that doesn't have any relevance or for you, because even if you don't even if you know something is wrong, when you partake in that festivity, you're celebrating the shit. You know what I mean? So yeah, I just when you said that, I just thought that was funny because I remember when I had started to stop, and I still get invited to shit like that. They be like, nah, you know how Dre is.
Yeah. It'd be spotty. Sometimes people be like, oh, Ted, I know you don't celebrate, but can you come? And then other times it'd be like, yeah, we know that you don't fuck with it. So we didn't even say anything. And I'm like, thank you. And because that would happen with my birthday. But I'm like, what are you supposed to do on your birthday? Like I don't know. Like growing up, my mom always was like she would give me a cake or cook for me, buy me, whatever toy so for me, I'm just like, oh well, I spent birthdays with my immediate family. And then I got older and people were like, so you have a party? What are you doing for your birthday? And I'm just like, I I just never thought about, like, I just don't think about it. I was like, if my mom didn't do something for me, like it wasn't a thing. And that led to, you were there on my 16th birthday when we had the party at my house. And that was the thing where I was like, this is exactly why I was celebrating my birthday. Nigga, people still be bringing that shit up. I'm just like,
That was
yeah.
so funny. I know
Oh,
it wasn't funny to you. It was funny to me.
yeah. I think the only thing that like truly pissed me off was when they made one of my friends cry, and I wanted to end the party because he got picked up and left early, and I was just like, I will fight every person in this house over him. But I was just like, nah, I gotta chill. But yeah, it was really my friends. They talked me into it. I blamed them. Like it was our fault and mine a little bit because honestly, I had just met some niggas like a week before. I won't say any of their names, but you know them. But I was just like, man, that one dude, he was kind of fine. I was like, and I don't be having niggas come to my house, but if I have a party, then he can come over without me being like, hey, mom, can this dude come over? So yeah, I was being fast on the low.
I know who you're
Then
talking about.
and then a bunch of crazy shit happened. Dude, last year, uh, Oh, well, I think now I kind of like pay more attention to like numbers because I've always been into numerology and stuff. So when I got older, I would just hear on this and I start adding numbers up in my head and I was like, all right, what does this mean and stuff? I'm like, shoot, last year on my birthday, wait, how old am I? Oh, okay, I'm 32. I really forgot for a second. I was like, I have no idea. But 32, I was like, I didn't think much of, but then I started thinking about, I was like, oh, I'll be 33 this year. I'm just like, yeah, Jesus, nip. I was like, what's about to happen? I was like, am I finna die? Like, what is going on? Not to be dramatic, but sometimes I be thinking that way. But but then I was like, all right, let's be positive about this number. And so I was like, well, 33, that's self-mastery. Maybe this year, master some things that I've been trying to work on and heal from some things. So I'm just like, I'm trying to focus on the positive. Sometimes I wish that I cared about holidays and stuff because I don't want to be a downer to people and be like, why this even exists? Like except for like January, Martin Luther King. I'm just like, man, they murdered this nigga and then
And
they gave him a
celebrated.
holiday.
It's just the same thing as Thanksgiving, nigga.
Man, I mean, like, all of this is stupid. But then when I see people like happy and celebrating and eating and open presents and doing so, I was like, Taylor, don't be the asshole that wants to give niggas a history lesson. Like, let people enjoy things. Like, but if you ask, huh?
I said, let them be ignorant, huh?
And not to be morbid, but we're all gonna die one day. Just try to enjoy it. And I'm gonna eat a candy cane if someone gives me one. Mm.
You talk about numbers and so um I so I think like I believe everything happens in the universe is like just it's like it's supposed to be happening. It's gonna be uh the same program or how the internet runs is actually what the universe runs off of. Uh, I read about that in quantum physics. So that being said, it's like sometimes I'd be thinking like it's just like whatever you're in tune to be attracting, the universe is gonna send your way. Just like when like you start looking up too much stuff on not too much stuff, certain things on the internet, it'll start popping in your phone, like that's the same thing as the universe per se. Like I went to I've been needing to get my hair cut for probably like the last 2 months. Nigga, I don't be caring. I'd be like, whatever. So I was looking for a black barber up here in Lacey, which was hard. It really just in the vicinity of where I'm at, just cities. So I was like, fuck it. So I'm driving, and there's a. This is the only reason I remember this barbershop because I'm dumb. It says Doggy Styles. And I was like, why would you? Right. And I'm like, all right. So I remember it, and I drive by it all the time for like the last 2 months. I was like, I'm gonna go there one day and get my hair cut because it said something about retwisting dreads, and I didn't want. I just wanted a high fade. Neither here nor there. So yesterday or yesterday's Friday. Yesterday I went. I just was like, fuck, I need to get my hair cut. So I drove down there, and I get in the parking lot. First thing I'm thinking is like, I ain't got no cash. I wonder if this place only does cash. So I won't be getting my hair cut here today. Cash only. I was like, fuck it. Let me go talk to these niggas real quick to see if these is niggas in here. Like, go in there and it's black people in there. I'm like, cool, I can probably get my hair cut. First dude is like, oh man. I was like, do you do walk-ins? He's like, no, I don't do walk-ins. Or he's like, I do, but I'm not available right now. And I said, all right, so I was about to go. He's like, hey, but on the left side of here, there's another barber. I said, oh, back there? So I go back, there's another barber. I'm like, hey, can I can you cut me up, man? He's like, yeah. He's like, yeah, I'm actually, yeah. He's like, I'm usually always busy. He's like, but I actually can take you in right now. I got an appointment for another hour and a half. So I'm like, go get the cash, come back, sit in the chair, talking, chopping it up, and he spins me around. I just see one of the, man, I really wish I remember the pyramid name. in Mexico, but it's the Mexico. It's one of the pyramids in Mexico. Which, by the way, if you didn't know, although like there's so many hills in Mexico, although like there's a large area where all those hills under them, all that the trees, it's actually just more pyramids. Like a lot of people don't know. There's so many pyramids over there that they haven't even unearthed yet, and they're doing now and excavating. Anyways, so I see the pyramid. I'm like oh man, you just because I came in there. He had a red, black, green flag on his mirror, and then he had like King Tut gold blue on his wall. So like just because you have that shit doesn't mean you even know what the shit means. So you don't know. I wasn't sure. So I was like, hey, that pyramid, man. I was like, yeah, it's crazy. It's like I didn't. So he said, yeah. So he talks about it a little bit, and I'm like, yeah. And he turns me around. And he's like, oh shit, what's on your neck? I'm like, oh yeah. He's like, you got mat on your neck? I'm like, yeah. So then I was like, oh shit, maybe he does know about shit like this. Well, we talked for like fucking 2 fucking hours, right? And he tells me, he's like, yeah, man, it's crazy. He's like, I haven't had a free time like this in like 2 months, right? And I'm like, and he's like, and today I was like, damn, I don't got nobody coming in. And he's like, and it's funny that you came in at this exact time and I mean, we talked about pretty much a lot of stuff. His name was he was named after the Judy of Ortho, Matt's consort, one of it's her consort. He had more than one, uh, but we talk about it. So getting to my point when you're talking about numbers, because this is why I brought it up. So I got something I started looking up that I'm going to tell you about now. So life path numbers. I don't know if you ever heard of that, but
Yeah.
he told me about that shit yesterday, and he told me what my life path number was, and I was like, what the fuck? And I just started thinking about all the time. It's like man, like I started reading about that now, and I got something else to research. But uh, numbers, timing, I think like all that shit is really divine. The universe really will send you most of the things you're looking for, even if you don't see it. I don't I don't know what was your defining moment when you decided when you decided like or you were hit and you couldn't ignore things anymore, or maybe the start of that. But when I was in Afghanistan, my homeboy gave me a book called The Before the Mayflower. And I mean, I remember as a kid, I would talk with I'm not gonna say my nigga's name because we were ignorant. So I'll just tell my ignorance. You know what I mean? So I mean, I was saying when I was a kid, I was saying real stupid shit because I didn't have an education. Like, well, not a real education, not a. I didn't have nobody to tell me the things I was saying was dumb. I was saying shit like people would. I was like, fuck Africa, and everybody there, nigga. These niggas, like, we're over here. Like, niggas aren't looking out for us. You know what I mean? I was like, what sense does this make? Why are we? Because I had no idea. I didn't even understand really what I'll call our migration here. You know what I mean? I didn't even really understand that, so I would just say things out of ignorance. And man, so that being said, I mean, mm, that being said, there is a lot of things. I'll get off of that. There's a lot of things that I feel like will fall into your lap. So like when I got that book Before the Mayflower and I started reading, that was just the start because I was like on my big black shit, like, oh shit, nigga, like, that I guess that's how it started out for me. Oh, we was smart and kings and shit, thinking like, oh shit, nigga, oh nigga, hey, you already know what it is. And I got real heavy into that. And then obviously I got pushed back into religion through race means, and I just felt like I felt like I feel like at the time I think I just needed to be validated at the time as something, you know what I mean? Because I was disconnected obviously that's when, Yeshua was black. Yeshua was actually black, and all that stuff. And I went through that process for a while, and that's really what began mine. Because I remember because that's just such a small part is giving up what you believe in and destroying everything that you've learned to take on a new aspect of spirituality or a different knowledge. And I remember like you said, it was just like it's just like it wasn't like slowly, man. I remember I was so dumb. I was sitting in there and I was in my room and I was like, all right, I don't even want to say it. I was like, I'm not gonna. I'm just deciding right now. No, I don't. Am I about to get struck down by lightning? I don't believe in God, nigga. Like I was like, you know what I mean? It's not this tradition the way that I've been taught. I was like, this doesn't make sense. Like, you know what I mean? And I'm like, oh, scared, nigga. I thought I was about to die for a second. I was like, nigga, looking at this like the skies and shit. I was like, oh, and that's when I started. And after that, after I gave up something, I really received a lot more. You move on a different vibration, things just come to you. You know what I mean? You said you feel different and there's a big shift. Well, I was told by I think one of my teachers, Miss Barbara. I think I've told you about it before. She told me that 33 is the age of like rebirth or spiritual reborn, and you're gonna start experiencing a new chapter in your life. She like they say like that's when the age Yeshua died was 33, and 33 is a significant number. I wish I had. I usually have more information than that, but you've been talking about numbers just a second ago, so all these numbers I've been hearing you talk about, I just thought was funny because you just had said that. And like I said, I think the universe really puts out the information and whatever you need out there, and you really will find other people that understand like we're all the same, like because of consciousness, and that's why it's easier to talk to like you. It's easier to talk to you because we usually always are talking about something, or when I need you, you call me. You need me, I'm probably calling you, or we're calling each other at the same time. And so with that, all that, like, what really started yours? What started with you, or was this like something that you've been in tune with?
Really, what triggered that was the what I said earlier. People's reasoning for doing things and not doing things, and they're basing it on the Bible. And I was like, I don't think people are reading the Bible right. I feel like something is up. Something don't feel right. Like it's not registering. Like well, because I was going to church and stuff, and I was just like, none of this is really resonating with me anymore. But you know, I was just doing a lot of reading, like you said, like because once that's what triggered it for me to be like something is up, and I don't think I can necessarily follow what other people are saying because it doesn't apply. It's not helping me in my life. It's not helping me grow spiritually or mentally. So I was like, I'm about to look into stuff, and I'm a bit of an extremist, so. I started out with all the things that Christians say is evil because I was just like, when I was little, I used to read the horoscopes in the back of the magazines, but I just wouldn't do it around other people because I was trying about people like, nah, that stuff is evil. I'm just like, but I'm just reading, like you said, like, am I going to get struck down? Like, I just like to read. So I started with just like the simple stuff, like 666. I started looking into that because I was like, I always liked numbers, so it's like, why not start there? And then the first information I came across was that we have six neurons, it was something to do with our biology. And it was pretty much like they used that as like a scare tactic and talk about it's the devil, but really it had to do with like black people. Like I
Yeah,
can't even explain what
I know what
what
you're
it
talking
is
about.
then,
Yeah.
but yeah. Okay, that makes sense. So when people now that I'm around like, oh, 666, I'm like, man, do I explain to them that they're tripping right now, or do I just let them keep being scared of numbers? I usually go with the latter because I be thinking shit's funny. And I know I need to get better at that because I'm like, man, I'm
That's who
trying
you are. That's who you are.
to for real. But I think if I knew off top of my head how to explain it in an easier way, I think that I would. But I just need to do more reading and have shit more solid before I say things to people. And that's why I kind of that's more the reason why I don't more than just thinking shit's funny.
No, I know what you're talking about. I can't remember 666. That's like protons and neutrons. I can't remember, but it composes the black man. You know what I mean? It composes what we're made out of. So uh, one day I'm gonna call you when I look this up, and because I can't remember exactly what it is, but yeah, it's not even a bad numbers. It's what you're composed of.
Yeah. And once I found out that information, I was like, oh, okay, yeah, let me look into some more of this, what people think is evil stuff, because I bet all of it just comes down to racism.
By design.
Yeah, it's all by design for you to like, yeah, you guys better believe this, and this is we think that you guys are gonna just fall for it, and everybody did. So now people are scared of stuff that is like not scary, and if you had the real information, it probably be very helpful to your life, especially when it comes to people that are in organized religions. But and like I said, I went to the extreme with this. And so I started studying like Aleister Crowley. I think that's how you say his name. And I started looking into like, I started looking into like Satanism and just to read about it and be like, because a lot of people are like, oh, that's all evil. But when you look at like the stuff they stand for, and it's like, some of it I'm just like, whoa. But some of it I'm like, it's logical to me. Not that I would ever be a Satanist because what my image and what I actually think Satan in hell is like
No, no,
so
yeah.
I'm trying to understand like the fear aspects of it because I don't want to be doing nothing based off fear. Like that just doesn't make sense to me. And a lot of things is like, oh, this looks bad to people or oh, this is evil and scary. I'm just like, actually none of it is, and it's all in your head and what you've been taught. And I can't get with that because I was like, "Nigga, I have to have my own mind and my own thoughts about things because and do what works for me. And so I looked into all that stuff and then I started looking into other religions and all of that. And this is back when Darrell used to he'd put his pop voice on and be like, oh, you a Muslim now. And but that's just because I was constantly watching Malcolm X speeches and back we were just talking about this back when Minister Farrakhan he would be doing his lives and stuff and he always had his videos like I was like deep into it like in that same apartment on the water I was talking to like every day like I woke up if I didn't have to go to work and I was just alone or like I would be up for like 24 hours straight, just reading and listening to lectures. I would listen to KRS-One, all his stuff, and it was helpful for me in the time just because I didn't know who I could talk to about anything. So I was just constantly like learning and I would start writing things down and being like, okay, well, what does this mean to me? And like, yeah, so I just went deep down into a hole and that's when I got to the point where it was hard for me to talk to other people because they just were having conversations about stuff that I just didn't give a fuck about. So I was like past like having surface level conversations with people because I was so deep into studying. I guess that was kind of like the start of it. I don't think being like I view religion as a tool. Like it can help you to like it's supposed to be able to connect you and that's how you're supposed to and help you understand life and understand yourself and like how to get through all of this stuff. So there's nothing wrong with, you know, being attached to a religion and, you know, all of that. It's just like, but if you are attaching yourself to stuff out of fear, like that's when I'm just like it's just not that doesn't seem like healthy. But if you're trying to connect and like learn and like be a part of community and like do that because as humans, that's what we're supposed to be doing is connecting with each other and learning and stuff. So in that sense, it's cool, but it's kind of just like there's a lot of people that got like church hurt and stuff like that. And those are the people I did start talking to more. And because a lot of time it would be like niggas around, Bremerton and stuff. And I I think one time, where was I? Oh, I was I was in McLeod's, and I was in there. I had a beer in my hand, and I seen one of the niggas that I would see at church sometimes. And at first, he like looked at me and he was like, "Oh shoot, like I always see her at church and so trying to hide." And I was like, "They come over here, like let's have a conversation." And this was after I had like started to work through like my alcoholism, and I had a little bit more control. I was like, hey, you gotta be yourself. Like, this is all a journey. Like, nigga, I'm in here with a beer in my hand too. Like, how am I gonna look down on you and be judging you? Like that's not what this is. I I don't like when people be like, oh well, I'm a Christian, so I can't do this. So I shouldn't be here. You trying to be hiding stuff, and I'm just like, just religion's not supposed to control your life. It's supposed to help guide you, and you can learn with others. And if that's how you learn best, being a Christian and studying the Bible, and that's helping you, do that. That's your journey. But if that's not working for you, you're not gonna get struck down. Just because you want to study a different religion and stuff like that, and see if that's more helpful for you, and convert to being something else. There's nothing wrong with that, but I think people are just too attached to the idea of like I need to be this way or I have to do this. I've studied multiple religions, and just for a second. It didn't start all the way there in sixth grade. I did a report on Hinduism, and that's what really got my wheels turning. But that was also like right before I started going to church. And so I was just like, I'll get back to this one day because I'm curious about this reincarnation stuff. Start looking into different religions, and I'm like, all the religions are the same when it comes down to like the base part of it, but because of different cultures and customs and traditions and all of that, that's what really creates like the difference. Like it's all the same story, it's just they're just tweaked a little bit. It's literally whatever works for you. Like if you just are in a religion all your life and then you come out of it, it's fine to not be attached to a religion. It's just all about how you are and how you treat yourself, how you treat other people. That's kind of just how it started. Like just I would ask people questions and I didn't like none of their answers. And so I was like, oh, time to study for myself because that's what you're supposed to do. That's what they teach you. Like, you're not supposed to just listen to the preacher and it's like, oh yeah, whatever he says, because he's a man too. He's a human. He's just interpreting, the Bible and whatever from his perspective. Well, not from their perspective, but well, a lot of it probably. So never mind. But like, let me not get into that. I still can like read the Bible and get something from it, or go to church and learn something. But like, I was like, I want to be able to study everything. Like, I Kip said the word, man. I need a pen and pad when I talk to Kip for real because he told me there's a word for people that study all the religions. It's not it, nah. I think it started with like an A or a O or something. I need the nigga to call me because I got a question. But so that's my long-winded answer.
Yeah, it's crazy. There's a lot of that stuff you talked about. I skipped from one religion to another religion, like because I had that attachment to the ideology, like that I needed to have. I had to be a certain way, or just because one doctrine didn't work. But most religions are supposed to have like an end goal, which is to be enlightened. No matter what the message is, like it's really to be enlightened. And so like no matter how you get there, like you said, I don't think there's necessarily a wrong way. Now, if it's teaching you to be dumb, then I like maybe you should reevaluate because like everybody should be a free thinker. Uh, if you're not really thinking for yourself, then you're not living the life you're supposed to be living. Yeah. So I think a lot of times like I don't mean to like always like throw shade on like Christianity and stuff like it, but that's just my background. So maybe if I was grew up all like because I was in the Islam for a little bit, but if I grew up that way, maybe I'd feel the same way. So like I just no matter how the journey you need to get to where you need to go. I mean, as long as it's not hurting you, um, which is something that like we've talked about. Is I was getting hurt. Like I wasn't learning any lessons. I knew a bunch of shit out of the Bible, but I didn't have any way to apply it. So I I think most of the time religion this has like three aspects of religion: mysticism, the ritual, and oh man, what's that third one? Ritualism, mysticism, and how you apply it. And if they're not doing, if you don't have all three aspects, then you're really doing things wrong. And because you can know the information, you can practice it, but if you don't like know what it does or what it's supposed to be doing or how to apply, if you're missing one of these things, you're not really doing it right. uh, and and I got away from just religion in general. I just like to learn because I think just being able to learn anything at all, if that helps you with your life, regardless what it is, and it's probably important for you, or if it's speaking to you, then there's probably a reason you're reading it, or finding out about it, whether it's to just oppose it or to go with it. I think it's just always important to try to keep an open mind. Like that's been my biggest adjustment. Being conscious is having an open mind, and there's not always just one answer. There's usually more than one way to do something. Like I'm sure there's more than one way to fly, and I'm sure we picked the stupidest one by using jet fuel. So like shit like that. How to drive a car, we probably picked the dumbest one, because we're using fossil fuels, which cause bigger holes in the ozone layer. There's a lot of things that you can apply and get to how you need to get there, and they don't always have to be the same way. And I feel like that was like the one of those things that I had to learn throughout the process. And I still don't know everything now. I learn every day. I'm an avid reader. I'm an avid learner because I don't want to be missing anything or missing my blessing because I was being ignorant. So uh, I believe everybody should implore to question their beliefs all the time. Otherwise you're not going to really be doing any growth just by staying in one spot.
That's the best way to remain stagnant. Just not questioning stuff, just going with whatever everybody else is doing, even though you're just like, I feel like people like they people are a lot of people ignore themselves and their feelings and like, even they're like, oh, something about this doesn't feel right, but this is what my family's doing, so I'm just gonna do it. Like I don't, yeah,
Knowing your intuition.
yeah, which I've learned the hard way. You ignore it and bad things will happen. You're going to learn the lesson the hard way. I feel like I've been saying this a lot lately, but like our bodies are antennas. So even like breaking it down in the sense that like when you walk into a room or you're with somebody and you feel off in your body, it's like a lot of people like just ignore it. But I'm just like it got to the point where I was like, if I don't get him and leave right now, I feel like something not good is gonna happen. Even like somebody I was talking to before from like for like long distance, I seen them in person and my body just was like, Tasia, no. And like, but I tried to ignore it. But then like as soon as they even hugged me and touched me, my body was just like, don't let this person touch you. Like I felt, yeah, my skin started crawling and I was just like, but they didn't even do anything. Like they were just being cool. They was normal. Like the motherfucker was cool. But eventually it was just like, Tasia, absolutely not. And so I had to kind of end up talking to one of my friends the other day, and we were talking about numbers and stuff like that, and numbers that are reoccurring that you keep seeing, and they just asked my perspective on it, and I was like, well, I've been seeing numbers, and like when I see numbers in my head, my brain just starts going. Like even if I just look at the time or see like a license plate or something, my mind just starts going. And the older I got and I started paying attention, like seeing my sister's birthday all the time, like I see 313 every single day in some form. But when I see it, I do like to stop. I start paying attention to what I was thinking at the time or how my body is feeling, or thinking about something dumb. And so I'm just like, oh, okay, thank you. Cause like my mind was just, was just going, and I need to quiet my mind, or I need to like not think that way because I was thinking something negative, and just seeing that number will check me in the moment. Because a lot of people aren't present. They're usually thinking about something in the future or something in the past, and like they're not actually present for most of the time. And yeah, that was kind of like a big lesson for me, because when I made that shift and started paying attention, like, why are you thinking about that right now? Like you're thinking about something in the past, it's irritating you. Now you feel irritation in your body. Like, why are you doing that? But then again, a lot of times that stuff will pop up, and I'm just like, ooh, that's something I need to work through, because I thought about that person and was just like, man, and I'm just like, why are you doing that? Like that person is not around. You'll probably never see or speak to them again. You need to work that out of your body. That's something you need to work through yourself. That's internal, because they're not doing nothing to you. Like why are you still holding that like negative energy or those negative thoughts about this person, when honestly, like if they were to transition, it wouldn't make no difference in my life. Like I wouldn't care. So why am I getting irritated like just at their existence and like past stuff that happened? So a lot of times for me, numbers like that just helps check me and stay present in the moment, or point out something that like I need to, let go of or work through. But yeah, I don't know what it's like for other people.
I see. It's funny to see a number that what is 1 to 12. No, actually it's like what 1 to 11. So that'd be 22. There's 22 minutes in the day that you're gonna that just for some reason we see all the time. So like 111, 222, 333. That happens 2 times a day. So it's like it's crazy that like when you start noticing those numbers all the time, you're like, what the fuck? Why I keep? How am I seeing 555 again, nigga? Like just coincidentally. And I'd read something that said start like paying it. So this is what I started doing. I start paying attention on what's going on around you when you start seeing these numbers, you know, and try to think like what is it that's bringing you at this moment? Were you happy, or were you at peace? Were you mad, or what it's probably trying to tell you something, but they say that's when like you are on to something. That's when the matrix is telling you like, hey, you're on to something. So I try to like be conscious of my state of being when I'm like that, whether I'm driving in the car and I see it, or I'm just at work and I see it for some reason, or I don't know how many times I look at the clock a day. Don't seem like it's that much, but just being conscious of what my awareness is at the time I see it. And I started doing that because I had read about it and I was like, oh, that shit's crazy. So, but I don't know. I have no conclusions. Maybe I should write down what I'm doing.
Hey, shoot. Oh, you just reminded me. I was journaling almost on a regular basis, and I have not in like months. Yeah, but well, I don't think it's been months, maybe like a month. I met someone years ago. Yeah, I was like, I'm impressed, because this nigga, the life numbers and stuff, he just had that stuff in his dome ready to explain all of it. And I was like, oh, nigga, you were amazing. What the hell? Like he got a piece of paper and a pen, wrote my name and my birthday, then broke all that stuff down. I'm pretty sure I have that piece of paper somewhere. 'Cause I remember when I first got it, I put it inside as a book so I wouldn't lose it. And I think I took it out one day because I was like, I want nobody. This is just for me. I want nobody to look through my books and see it. But these are books I pull out every time that someone comes over. I'm just like, so have you heard of this before? But I guess this is about probably show people the big ass book I'm swinging. but it's secret language of relationships and uh, secret language of birthdays. You can actually look this up online, at least for yourself, and just put in your birthday. Just type in secret language of birthday, that will pop up. And then I like this one because it's a hardcover, the one you got me. It's a weapon and a learning tool. And then the secret language of destiny. And yeah, it's crazy that like when I'm not sure if someone is like into like more spiritual things, I was like, okay, this is a good way to start a conversation. I'll feel like, just look at your birthday, you know. But and I start bringing out the other books, and I'm just like, all right, how far can we go with this conversation? What have you been listening to lately?
I've been listening to a lot of Currency, uh, a lot of Dom Kennedy. I've been listening to a lot of Jay Stone. I was listening to a lot of Nip, but I was listening to too much, so I had to stop. I was listening to a lot of Quick too, but I had to stop listening to him so much. So I was playing him so much, and who else? Benny the Butcher. I like Benny the Butcher. Obviously, you already know Larry June. Listen to Music Soul Child. He's funny. That nigga really can't sing, by the way. But he be making me laugh though. You know, you know. Listen to Love.
Y'all can't sing.
Listen to Love. Listen to his vocals. Listen to the long note. That wasn't a good note.
Man, me and Kip used to be trying to hit those notes in that specific song too. He can do it though. That nigga got vocals on the low, but I'm about to listen to this song because I'm like, hey, this song's good.
Be like, if he was doing this without music, how would this sound? And then just in your head.
I think I've heard something about him not sounding good live, but I didn't want to believe it. I mean, I love that nigga.
But I've been listening to a lot of rap lately. I started listening to a little bit of lo-fi because of DeAndre and Xavier, and they told me to listen to some. So that's been cool. That's a different kind of feel. I've been listening a little bit of jazz, Miles Davis. Uh, I like Miles Davis actually. I was listening to Duke Ellington, but I don't want to say I don't like him, but he's just not my favorite. Uh, Sade, I've been bumping some Sade, some Mary J. Blige. Uh, it's just really depending on what I'm doing. Usually I stick to the same artist, but I need to sprinkle something else in. I listen to like R&B and stuff like that, balance myself out.
Mm-hmm. Eating lobsters.
Oh yes.
We have very similar music tastes because I listen to Dom Kennedy every day. That be my mood a lot. It's like, hey, bitch. You know what I mean? I suck on my
That's one of my favorite songs.
around, they're just yelling Dom Kennedy lyrics. You see that at Kodak. But when I feel more calm, because my playlist be super random, but I made a playlist on Chris Brown. I made it like probably a month before the concert. I'm gonna listen to Chris Brown because all I care about right now. But yeah, so I just have a whole playlist with just him. So I switch between that and then my playlist is like super random. I got the West Coast is ingrained in me. Like I gotta listen to West Coast shit like all the time. Do you ever listen to him?
I heard.
Oh, yeah, I'm gonna send you the song that like I don't know why, like I just be listening to some on repeat. He has a song called Whole Lot of Ice. And I don't know, he's like my neck, my wrist, when I'm and it just makes me want to be like, I'm back home. But after Kendrick's pop-up show, like one of the people, I think it was like one of the first people that went up was it's called his name's Rumble. He got a couple of songs, but he started popping up on my YouTube. So every time I seen a video of his, I just clicked on it and I was like, oops, saving that song. Oops, saving that song. I mean, maybe I just miss home. Like maybe people, I went out one time when Gabby and Red came here, and all I remember is I was like, "Yeah, I'm about to have to go talk to the person that's in control of the music because I need some West Coast shit to get played right now."
That's a Dom Kennedy song too, right there. It's like, oh, what is that? Is when I come around, when it wait, I'm waiting here, sugar free, quick in two pockets to coast. T-shirt, patty, no joke, a party in the party. Go, that's my shit. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I embody that song. That song
yeah.
that be on almost every playlist too.
That's that song and Dream to me. Those are one of my. Those are a couple of my favorite songs.
Yeah, I mean, that whole project. So I was listening to that this morning. Yeah, man, he just I don't know. I want to say Don Kennedy's probably like I don't even like to be like, oh yeah, my top five and stuff, but that nigga, he's just I don't know. I was like two artists that are very different between him and Kodak. I'm just like, yeah. I start my day off with one of them usually. Do you know who Bobby Fino is?
Hmm.
Uh, well, it's well, Arian Foster. He used to play. I was about to say basketball. He used to play
For
football.
Texas. Yeah.
Oh yeah, so that's who he goes by for his music.
Oh,
I just
okay.
want to see what so far like what it says I was listening to the most in January. He was like the first one, but his project Flamingo and Cobalt that's like one of my things. I was like, you don't have very many projects you can just listen to all the way through, and like every song is this album right here, Flamingo and Cobalt.
Okay.
Yeah, I would listen to Lil Russell too. That nigga, I like him. But yeah, that's the intersection where Tupac got shot. So, is
Shit.
there a song that you be playing on repeat, or
Uh,
you?
yep. I'll look up my. I got Spotify has your top 25 songs that you listen to.
Mhm.
Let's see. I'll give you the last five, the top five right now. Oh, now I don't even want to tell you. Something smells in my car. It's like a lo-fi. It's one of those lo-fi songs, but it has a dope beat, and I probably wrote like 48 bars to it. So that's why I was just writing. I was like, oh shit. Uh, Where the Monsters Be. That's Currency. He got a new album. I wanted to talk about that. Dom Kennedy be making me mad. What Larry June, Currency, fucking these niggas be dropping albums all the time. But I've been waiting for Dom. Like niggas after what was it? West Side Story 3 or the third one came out or the second. Which that one what was it in there?
That's the one that like the cover was white with the blue writing, or my
Yep. Yep.
yeah.
That one came out and I liked that one a lot. Like, oh shit. Then this nigga just didn't come out one until I Love Stalker came out. And I was like, oh man, the nigga I've been waiting, man. And then it wasn't even his whole album. The one before that was with Hit Boy. That one was hella dope. Also known as yeah, but I've been waiting. That he really it's really not it's not coming through for me right now. You know, he did have a single that just came out though, not too long ago. Oh, Act Four, fucking you, like you know, Tasia, if you ever listen to this song, you're gonna I know you'll judge me because it really is foolish. Like it's dope though, it's so dope. Like this means let me say I can't stop fucking your body's like a prostitute. I was like, why do I like this song? Like I was like, it's dope to just go. Let Me Know by Larry June. Uh My Bins by Dom Kennedy. I don't know if you know that song. That song's
In my
fucking
bins.
yeah.
Yeah.
You remind me of my bins. Hey, you remind me of my bins. That's my shit. Yeah, yeah.
I don't know what it is, but anytime a Messy Marv song gets stuck in my head, I have to just keep listening to him. Like,
Favorite Messy Marv song?
why me? Yeah, it's I just like it's not dark, but I just like that song. Like it just, especially if I'm going through it. But yeah, that's probably my favorite Messy Mara song. But if I'm being silly, two to the neck. Wait,
Two to the
yeah,
neck, two to the neck.
yeah. And I think when I was younger, what song is it? He's like, is that the same song? There's two. I feel like there's two songs, but he's like, I used to remix one of them, and Darrell laughed at me for this, but it's like because they say in the kitchen cooking dope up to the cops show up, and I was like in the kitchen eating donuts till my mom shows up. And Darrell was like, "Oh, you're done." I was like, I was trying to make it appropriate, you know. Then I can yell that line if we're trying to play the song when mom's home, so she won't hear what they're really saying. I can't judge you for the music you listen to because I'll be turning on Devin the Dude, Reefer and Beer. I just be listening to silly shit sometimes.
That's my shit.
Yeah. Well, what's your favorite Messy Mars song?
Mm, my actual favorite song by Messy Marv is "Nigga with the Sack." My one that's like not actually serious is "Baby" Future Mississippi. That was my shit when I was a kid. You keep on telling me that I'm too young. You know I'm into you, baby. What's up? Even look like you wanna give me some. I love that song because that was my life. You know what I mean? It's probably
Wow.
still my life. I still look like a baby.
Yeah. You know, like, I think all my mom's kids and your mom's kids, like, we're just gonna look young until we're like 70. Like, yeah, so your grandmother don't look her age. I'm like, I'm happy for her about our genetics, you know. You could just sing that song the rest of your life. Honestly, it popped into my head because of Jermaine. But yeah, Yuck Mouth, I started listening because like, why did the good die young and the bad motherfuckers live forever? And I was like, that'll help me to not be sad right now. I'm gonna just turn on Yuck Mouth. But yeah, I just been reminiscing all the ignorant shit we used to listen to back like 15 years ago.
Yuck mouth. That nigga he was coming out with mixtapes almost every fucking week. It seemed like that nigga was always coming out with something. I asked my nigga pimp. I don't listen to it as much now because now I'd be like, this is something I should probably not just be playing in my subconscious. Pimp that bitch. That was really my favorite song by Yuck Mouth for a long time. Nah, like I still have, but I don't listen to it as much. Type like maybe I shouldn't even be putting this in my head.
Yeah. I feel the same way. I be listening to some old songs. I'm like, I'm gonna finish it, but I want to listen to song maybe like once a year, just when food strikes. Which is, I don't feel like I should be consuming this. Okay, so I love Larry June. I love that nigga. I promise. But yesterday, oh, me and Xavier were talking about him, and I was like, doesn't that nigga all his songs sound the same kind of when you start listening to it? And I was like, oh, I feel bad for saying it. I like him, but I was like, no, man, all his songs sound the same. He sounds like head shit. Like it just every song.
Man,
Except for his old stuff, which you ruined, you like blew my mind, and I was like, what?
yeah, because his style was way different, and when he started out, way fucking different.
Yeah, that was shocking. Yeah, you blew my mind with that, Andre.
Yeah, I I was chilling with cousin Brandy and Darrell, and she don't really care about Larry June like that became evident, and you know Brandy she about to let you know nigga like, and then she's like uh he doesn't really have like a flow. This nigga just be going. And I thought at first I was like, you're tripping. Then I thought about it and I was like, yeah, he really does rap the same most of the time. Like the same exact. But that's what I like about Larry Jr. Like he I don't know. I wouldn't say his music all sounds the same. I would say he plays on a lot of slow music though. He raps on a lot more slow music than anything. And the beats that he be rapping on are it's like if you listen to a Drake beat or something. I know you don't listen to Drake, But if you listen to a Drake beat, you know when it's the type of Drake beat he's gonna be honest. I feel like that's how it is with June. But I just like that nigga because that nigga just he raps. He don't be rapping about haunted gangster shit or killing niggas. You can you can tell this nigga is a dope boy. So that's probably why I like him. You know what I mean? Because that's what he just is a pioneer. Like he had a song. He's like, I was supposed to get rich off perfect granddaddy perp or something like that. And I was like, oh. And then he kind of got to branch out, and I was like, "That's inspiration." That nigga's younger than me, but that's that inspirational kind of shit I'd be liking because I'm like, nigga, like a lot of the niggas like you listen to some of their music and they just be talking about just dumb as shit, but I like listening to the dope boys, you know what I mean? Cause I can relate, you know. So
Yeah. It was the smoothies in 1991. That's on every playlist because I'm like, nigga, you wrote that song for me, nigga. 91, nigga, that was for me.
have you ever looked so fly? Did you see and wanna come and choose? Energy.
Yeah.
Bitch, I feel like yeah, don't even get me started. Yeah, that's my dude. I listen to him in Currency probably more than I do Dom Kennedy. I was listening to Dom Kennedy a lot more, but like I said, he don't come out with a whole. He has material, but he don't got a lot of material.
I want to branch out and like listen to new artists sometimes, but it'd be difficult. And I'll just like, especially if I'm like, someone tells me about somebody or sends me a song and I'll like the song. So I'll go listen to the rest of the music. I was like, I don't like no other song of theirs. Like, fuck it. They would be helping because we be in the car and I'm just like, let me Shazam this real quick. So yeah, he's been putting me on to like some lo-fi stuff. Yeah, like you said, him and Jordan. I'm just like, yeah, y'all, I need more calm music because I be in here like I know my neighbors can probably hear me. They're lucky I ain't got no speaker. I be trying to chill and not be that neighbor. This was definitely a freestyle podcast because yeah, that was a lot of. I need to get the word random out my vocabulary, but that was just a whole lot of different shit. But I mean, hopefully it was at least entertaining. I appreciate you. I mean, we were supposed to do this a long time ago, and I was getting sick and stuff and being messed up, so I was
He
yeah,
was on the same frequency, so
yeah, we having a lot going on. You listen to this whole thing. Thank you. I know a lot of people listen to my 2 hour and 15 minute podcast, and I was like, "You really listen to all of that?" And they're like, "Yeah, it was cool." And I was like, "Oh, no, that's great. Thank you. I appreciate your time and your conversations."
you know, thank you for having me on, and I mean, I enjoyed it a lot. You know, what I mean, yeah, Mental Greens podcast. This is the best right here, Tasia, right here. And if you need a life coach, you should definitely hit her up. She's excellent. She'll be able to talk to you and dissect a little bit of your brain and pick you down and just be able to help you out. You know, she's an excellent talker, excellent communicator. I think if you ever need somebody for anything like that, this is the person you would want to talk to. I went through a really hard time last year, and I won't get into everything, but man, I won't say she's my spiritual teacher, but I definitely did learn so much from her. So I guess she could be my teacher. She was definitely a spiritual sister and helped me get through some probably the hardest times in my life. Uh, and she just does it naturally, and it just is what she does. So if you're in need of a life coach and improve your life, this is the person right here.
And I was for myself tear up a little bit, but yeah, I appreciate that because that is another reason why I wanted to do the podcast and kind of put myself out there because yeah, so thank you for that. That means a lot coming from you. So Yeah, and I will say, I'm a teacher and a student because you taught me a lot. You like can simplify things for me because my brain just be going and I'm like, nigga, I'm not explaining myself right. And you're like, no, I understand. This is what you were saying, and then you just say it, break it down super easy. So, yeah, the teacher and the student. So, yeah, I love you, now. I thank you so much.
I love you too.
But yeah, well then thank everybody for listening. I just want to make sure that, I'm not just talking just to talk because there's so many other people you could be listening to. So I appreciate anyone taking the time. And hopefully even if it's just pure entertainment listening to this, I hope that you enjoy it and that you don't wish that you got this time back. Thank you. And we will be back soon. All right.